and welcome to the Stash and Bench, where the stash is eternal and the bench is infernal. Thank you for joining me. My name's Carl, and I'll be talking about what I've been doing at my bench, both successes and screw-ups. We'll be talking about bare metal foil, yet more group builds, and then after that we'll have a look at what's been added to the stash. So without further ado, let's get to the bench. First of all, let's have a look at the 172 scale Airfix Red Arrows Gnat. Here's the box. It's a quite an old boxing of this. As you can see, I've got it all shiny red. It looks lovely. But my issue with this was that the decals, being very old, were going to be difficult, if not impossible, to use. Now, at first I wasn't worried because I thought that I had the special hobby kit of the Red Arrows Gnat in my stash. It turns out I was wrong. I didn't have it. Now that kit has decals for 3 versions. So I'll be able to take one version and use it on this and still have the other versions for that. So not having it, of course, I had to order it. Now it's coming from a long distance away and it's going to take quite some time to get here. So more readily available, there's this newer boxing from Airfix in 172 of the Red Arrows Gnat. However, when this arrived, I discovered that not only does it only have one version on the decals, so that I would not be able to take one set and use it for the current build and still have another set for this. Not only that, but this is a newer tooling. I didn't realize that they had retooled the Gnat in 72 scale in, I think it was 2012. So I really want to build this with the decals from this set. And as I said, it only has one version in this kit. So I still don't have decals for this one. So now I'm still waiting for the special hobby kit to arrive. The only potential problem with that might be that the special hobby kit is for a single seater and this is a 2-seater. Hopefully that won't be a problem. Hopefully the decals will still work for it. We will find out in a couple of weeks when it gets here. What I've spent most time on this past week or so is for the beginner scale modeling Facebook group, their group build, which has a deadline of February the 26th, so I've got to get a move on. And this is the 1/25th scale AMT 2021 Dodge Charger. It's going to be done in the California Highway Patrol colors. So that's going to be mostly black with white doors and roof. I've found this to be a just really great kit overall. Very nicely molded, everything fits together really well. I'm going to have to do something to break up the all black interior here. There's going to be some decals for things like the computer screen there. Some decals for the dashboard, but yeah, I'm gonna have to do some detail painting, maybe some pastel powders or something rubbed in to, I don't know, just give it some variation, show some staining, wearing, weather, whatever. Here is, I mean, it's not all glued together yet. It's just put together like that. Here on the engine, again, this is not glued together yet. The front suspension was a little tricky, and it shows that it's best to try things out and that the order of assembly shown in the instructions is not always the best order of assembly. for example, I would have done well to try and get this piece attached before putting this piece on top. I managed to get it in there. It has kind of, oh, there goes the engine. It has kind of working steering, but obviously, you know, it's not a toy, but you can move the wheels. Anyway, it shows the base of the vehicle being in this olive green easy coat waterproofing. And then there's going to be all kinds of metal and black painted parts that go on this, various places. Like I said, it clips together. You can almost, I mean, some pieces you don't even need glue, you just clip it together. Anyway, I've been having a lot of fun with that, except for my usual shortcoming of not being diligent enough with the paint on the body here. I know that you should use compatible paints and hobby paints and use the same clear coat as the paint, etc. Leave things to cure. But I had this bare premium gloss white left over. I didn't want to waste it. And it had worked perfectly well a couple of years ago on this. So I thought, why not? And it probably would have worked if I'd been patient and given it enough time to cure before spraying the Testo's clear lacquer on it. Although now I think of it, I don't think I used that on the metallic brown one over here on the Pontiac. I think I used Mod Podge gloss on this. So anyway, whatever the problem is, I have to sand that out or remove the paint and start over again on this. Other than that, it's been fun. It's been a good build so far. I have, like I said, I've got to hurry up. I've only got about a week and a half left. Next, the 1/32nd scale AMT 1960 Ford Thunderbird. You know, I'm just realizing I really should get rid of all this clutter in the background here. Anyway, moving on. As you recall, I tried to do this in a 24-hour group build, but only got so far with it. And I had the chrome to do on this. Now, I have tried bare metal foil only once or twice before this, and I'm still not very good at it. I have problems with it not sticking and with it tearing. Now, I'm told that there is a limited shelf life on bare metal foil and that it can lose its adhesive. And I think that might be what my problem is with that. However, I did try an alternative, which is these chrome sheets by from Ammo by MIG. Now, they're definitely more adhesive. They're a little easier to handle. However, they're noticeably thicker, and they have a kind of a plasticky feel to them. Now, being thicker, of course, where you have very fine detail, it's difficult to get that fine detail to show through. So I think getting fresh bare metal foil might be the way to go. Or another option, something I tried actually is I tried, lack of preparation showing through here, I tried painting on a little bit of this. I did this on the radio right here in the middle. I don't know if it's going to focus on that. And I painted a little bit of the micro metal foil adhesive on there, let it dry a little bit until it was tacky, and then tried applying the bare metal foil. That worked a little better, but I still want to try getting some fresh bare metal foil and see if I have better luck with that. In the meantime, what I might do is remove all the foil, give this a clear coat, gloss clear coat, and then mask off and try some Renwal chrome spray on that. The disadvantage of that is that I've heard it's a very fragile surface and it's not durable. So we'll see how that goes. So let's talk about group builds. Now, I'm a sucker for group builds. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a psychological thing, like a deep-seated need to feel like I belong or something. But anyway, whatever. I like group builds. Now, Adam from Sodat Model Cars, he does one every year. He calls it the Naked Models Group Build. Basically, you can build anything so long as you don't use paint. It's kind of to get back to the feeling of how we used to build models as kids. Just glue them together without paint, but with a, with a kind of an adult take on it that you actually put some effort into finishing it well. Initially, I thought, I've got this molded in proper colors, no paint needed. It's from 1966. It's a really nice, cute little thing. It's not I wouldn't say it's an accurate representation of the vehicle. It's rather toy-like. And it's not really in the spirit of what they do in the Sodat Model Cars Naked Models Group Build. So that was fun, but what I think, if I have time, because again, I've only got about a week and a half for this one. I have this 1/25th scale monogram Chevy Chevelle, which is molded in color, has some nice decals with it, and the idea is that, like I said, you glue it together with no paint. You can maybe use a marker for some highlights here and there on stuff that needs a little black highlight or something. So we'll have blue and blue interior. And all the chrome that comes with it. So if I can find the time to do that between now and the 28th, that's what I'm going to do. So group builds, and even more group builds. I haven't even mentioned Grandpa Mark's group build, the Make It Purple group build, which I started this, but that one's a little more lax. There's no deadline as such. It's open-ended, so there's not as much pressure to build this quickly. But I'm hoping to get it done this year. But the club that I'm in, the IPMS club, Mount Diablo Modelers Club, they just voted on this year's group build, and the theme is what is it, specifically over and under the sea, something like that. Anyway, ships. I could have done a flying boat or a float plane, but I've never built a ship. Well, actually, I started this old Airfix 1/600 scale, but I wasn't happy with this scale or the lack of detail in it, and the decals were horrible, so that one got abandoned. I still have it hanging around, I don't know why. But I do have ship kits that I want to build. So I kind of settled on 1/350th as the scale that I want to stick with for kits. I'm not going to build this one. It's this is apparently originally a Zvezda mold, which Renwal bought or licensed or whatever, yeah, it's a very good kit, but I think it's going to be a little big and too detailed for my first ship. What else do I have? I have this much more recent Airfix kit of the Type 45 destroyer. I was a little disappointed when I opened this up. The photo on the front clearly shows stress buckling on the metal on the towers, but the molded plastic shows it perfectly flat, perfectly uniformly flat, which, you know, I shouldn't be surprised by, but I was a little disappointed. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to do that one. For smaller craft, there's 1/72 scale. So this is a this is kind of an old kit that they re-released. And this one, I think it would be a little bit tricky. The sides are separate, and this is really soft and bendy plastic. So not that one, I don't think. Again, in 1/72nd scale, I have the Airfix 7 class lifeboat. This looks really gorgeous. I definitely thought about doing this one. I'm still kind of thinking about doing this one. I have a bunch of trumpeter kits, which, although they are all very nice looking, they include photo etch and a lot of very fine details that I don't want to attempt for my first build of a ship. Incidentally, this is the from the same class as the Airfix one that I tried. So what I think I'm probably going to do is I might do a submarine. I have the Micromere HMS Conqueror. This one's very simple indeed, a little rough if I'm honest. So maybe that one, or we have the Hobby Boss HMS Astute. And I'm leaning towards this one. The reason being, it seems very crisply molded. I should have got these out of the packet to show you. It has a little bit of photo etch. Some very crisply molded small parts, but not too many, enough to build something quickly and then spend some time on the painting, the finish, which for a submarine is really going to be, you know, that's going to be what shows it off. So I'm still to make the final decision whether this submarine or the lifeboat. Or, I don't know, I might change my mind again. So let's have a look at what has been added to the stash. So, additions to the stash. First of all, during the 24-hour build that I talked about last video, you will recall that I thought I had some rubber black, Tamiya rubber black paint, but when I looked, I didn't. So I went to my local hobby store. They didn't have any either. So I went to Sprue Brothers and I bought some Tamiya acrylic rubber black, some Tamiya lacquer rubber black, some Tamiya lacquer spray paint rubber black, MRP Colors matte tire rubber, AK acrylic rubber black, Atom from Ammo acrylic rubber and tires. So I'm not going to run out for a while. Now then, as far as kits, well, you already saw the Airfix Red Arrows Gnat, excuse me, the 2012 retooling of this, which I wasn't aware that it was a new tool. So you've already seen this, but let's open this up and have a quick look. Nice sharp panel lines. Pilots in the standard pose. Two pilots though. Pilot and co-pilot, or pilot and trainee. So this is not engineered in the same way as the 48 scale kit. Not quite anyway. There's there's big differences, but it's I would say it's definitely a vast improvement on the much older kit that I've been working with for the Red Arrows. There's the clear parts, the canopy basically. Anyway, looks very nice. Let me just flip the camera around for more additions to the stash. Stand by. So, having a ScaleMates account, ScaleMates will send a notification if another member has a kit for trade or sale that's on your wish list. I try to resist the temptation most of the time, but every now and then you just gotta give in. So this Hasegawa 1/72nd scale Supercat Jaguar with this particular marking from which unit? Number 16 Squadron RAF, with the Saint on the tail fin. Came up for a very good price, so I had to have it. Also, I'm not immune to trawling eBay for bargains, and I've wanted the Kinetic Harriers for a long time, and they're usually too expensive. But they came up for a much better than usual price, and I got this kit, which gives you the option of the GR1 or the GR3. I mean, whichever one you build, there's going to be a lot of spare parts. Not enough to build two aircraft, but the amount of plastic in here is just ridiculous. So many parts, and everything just appears to be molded just absolutely beautifully. I'm told this is a very good kit. I assume it goes together well. I think it does have photo etch in there as well. So I got that one with the choice of the GR1 or the GR3, and also the 2-seat trainer, because I love a goofy looking aircraft. I know, I already have more than I can ever build, but sometimes you got to give in to temptation. Well, that's it for this episode. At some point, I'd like to get into talking about some of the topics that come up on some of the podcasts I listen to, some of my favorites being the Plastic Model Mojo, Her Shrink Ray Eye, the Model Geeks podcast, the Modeling Insanity podcast, On the Bench, the Model Car Mania podcast under the Modeling Insanity umbrella, and others. But it's been a busy week, and I only just managed to get this video made. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. If you like this, hit that thumbs up. If you don't want to miss the next one, click the subscribe button. And if you have any questions or suggestions, polite questions or suggestions only, please, feel free to comment below, or you can email me at thestashandbench@gmail.com. Okay then. For now, I'll just say, be good to yourself and those around you, and remember, you can't build them all, but you can have fun trying. See you next time.